Okay, so just going to do a little ride today and talk about a few little things. Obviously, looking out through the cockpit here, you can tell I have changed my windshield. I've gone to a GIVI A603. I've always been a big windshield fan. In the Vespa world, we call the giant windscreens shower doors. And they are big, and I really like them, so I went bigger than the OEM stock one to give it a try and to see what it does for wind disbursement and everything. I also want to see if it handles any different, and I'm also going to see if it does anything for my gas mileage. So several things there to check on. It's a lovely afternoon. I've also mounted my tachometer up where I can see it while riding. I'm just kind of curious on how things look. And I have gone back to my 8.4 gram rollers, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to see what the RPMs are doing. From what I understand, the Navi max RPM is 8,000 RPMs, and I want to make sure that I'm not redlining with these smaller weights. And I'll just give you some readings as I'm riding around, testing the new windshield. So at 25 miles an hour, I was at 6,400 RPMs. 6,450 at 35. Obviously it increases as you throttle, and then as you just hold, your RPMs kind of settle down. I am definitely not getting hit in the chest anymore with wind. I can feel it going up to my helmet. I did take a test run with my 3/4 helmet, and with the other windscreen I could feel my helmet lift, and with this windscreen I do not have any of that lifting, which is a good sign. If I really feel like I'm suffering with this windscreen, I'll put one of those windshield lips on it and give it an added boost. I don't think I want to go bigger than this windscreen. I think at that point this particular bike looks really dorky. I think this one looks nice on here. The bike does seem to accelerate a little faster with this windscreen on it, and I'm guessing that's the case because I'm not this giant sail that is getting hit right in the chest with wind, so I can feel it braking around me, and it just doesn't feel like it's putting out as much effort to go the speeds that I'm going. Currently I'm hitting 40, and I'm right around 6,400 RPMs. The other thing that I'm testing, or thinking about testing, because this particular test requires me to once again go into the transmission and change my rollers out, but I have been reading that the lighter the roller weight, the worse your miles per gallon gets. And it kind of makes sense, because the lighter weight, the more RPMs you're producing. The heavier weight, the slower RPMs. So, I mean, it makes sense. I don't know if it's a dramatic difference, but you know, if you like to tinker and test things, then there's another test. So right now I'm testing to see what my miles per gallon is with this windscreen with the 8.4 gram rollers. Still sitting sweet, about 6,500 RPM. I really feel like I'm kind of getting this scooter tuned in with everything. You know, it takes time to get the rollers figured out for your riding environment, windscreens if you want, don't want, what the purpose of the windscreen's for, looks or functionality, rollers, you know, performance equipment. It just takes time to get it to where you're just really happy with everything. I know on our e-bikes it took me a good 5 or 6 months of solid tinkering to get them all adjusted right. Handlebar stem risers, all that kind of stuff. Seat posts that are flexible, seats that are comfortable. I think it's just kind of the nature of the beast. Pulling 45 or near it at 6,900 RPMs. When I throttle, it bumps up and just touches 7,000 and drops back down. Since currently I have never really seen 50 miles per hour on this bike, I don't think going over 8,000 RPM is going to be an issue. Now when we move and I get a huge elevation change, you know, who knows what I'm going to get. I might have to jet, I might have to do some air-fuel mixture changes, who knows. But at 4,500 feet elevation, this is what I'm getting. I'm at 47 miles an hour and I'm pulling 7,400 RPMs. That's, you know, while applying throttle, but when I back off, it drops back down to 7. I really do like the 8.4 gram rollers. I like the how fast it can climb to acceleration. I think I saw a little bit of an improvement on top end speed with the higher weights, the 12 grammers, but it was only 1 or 2 miles per hour. I don't know if that's a deal breaker for me, just because when I would put on the throttle, I would get a little bit of a punchier start with the 12 grams. And then climbing up to 45 was really slow. And I really do like being able to just have a constant fast climb. And I do like to be able to climb hills. And it doesn't really feel like I'm over revving. So I'm probably going to stick with the 8.4s until I decide I want to tinker again and try that miles per gallon test. And see what that's like. I think I already said, maybe I didn't, I don't remember, I'm old and forgetful. I'm currently getting 62 miles per gallon, but that's kind of a lie. That is 62 miles from full tank to when I hit the reserve. And since we don't have a full 1 gallon tank on this, I'm not a mathematician, I'm not going to calculate it all out. So basically I've gotten 62 miles on a tank of gas. I'll just say it that way. And now I'm going to see, I filled it up the same. I'm going to see what my miles are per tank of gas with this windscreen. And then when I'm bored and want something else to do, I'll put those other rollers in and do the same thing. I'm thinking that the ultimate sweet spot for my elevation, my riding style, my roads, that probably 11 gram rollers would be the nice sweet spot for everything. And I'm going to take a break probably from doing some modifications and just enjoy riding. It is prime riding season now. Maybe in August when it gets super hot, I'm going to do some other things. I'm just trying to figure out what to do next. I don't really want to lose my rear fender. I have found some Navi type tires that would allow me to keep it. So I'm thinking about that particular brand and size, because when you commit to doing the bigger size tires, you kind of commit to doing a no fender, different type of air filters and breathers and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't decided what I wanted to do yet. I might do the breathers and all and drop the actual air box, the OEM air box. That might be good for a fun video just to see what kind of changes there are going from the OEM air box to the like a K&N filter setup. Pricing it out, it's about $92 to do the all of the filters and adapters and hoses. Again, it doesn't look like it's a super hard project. And it doesn't really look like it's a time-consuming project either. Get this new freeway done. That'll be nice next year. It's going to have a bike path all along it so we can ride for miles on our e-bikes. Looking forward to it. Unfortunately, it's a 65-mile-an-hour road, so the Navi will never see it. Well, maybe a lunchtime ride was kind of a bad move. Everybody's out and about today. Let's see, have I done anything else that I want to talk about? No, just moved the RP or the tachometer, new windshield, which seems really stable, and I like the tinted color. It's just a universal fit. If I ever got tired of it on here, I could put it on one of my e-bikes if I wanted to, or another scooter, or whatever. Saddlebags are working pretty good. I've taken it shopping a couple of times, and it does a great job hauling stuff. So definitely no wind fatigue in the old chest, which is nice, and it really does accelerate faster just because the wind drag's cut down. You can feel the air coming up over the windshield. And I'm just about function for windshields. I like looks too, but function first for me. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm old. I just want it to do its job. I can remember riding my Vespa 300 GTV with the club, and I had the shower door windscreen on it, and it was actually taller than the top of my helmet when I was sitting on it. And we went up one of the canyons, and it was moth season, and so the moths were everywhere. And my windscreen had a handful of moths on it, but all the other guys that didn't have windscreens had them plastered all over their helmet visors, their chest, their helmets, all over. Yeah, it was, and they were these great big moths, and they were really gooey, and it was fun to see them all just plastered up. And surprisingly enough, two of the guys went out and bought windshields right after that. Yeah, cruising at 41 miles an hour, 6,600 RPMs. That's pretty nice. Bike just sounds good, feels good. There's also no vibration, I noticed, with these rollers. And I don't know what would cause vibration. I don't understand vibration all the time. You know, I don't know if it's transmission, roller weights, whatever. But I did notice when I had the 12 grammers in and I was pegging it, it was getting a little vibratey. Vibratey? Is that even a word? Anyway, it was a little buzzy. The new shock's working out really nice. I can definitely tell a difference in the back now that I've put some miles on it. And this looks interesting. I think I'm going to turn around here. I don't want to go deal with that right now. I would like to do some off-roading, but you know, you got to pick your battles. So in a month we're going to go check out where we're going to move. We've had some changes in where we want to be, and I'm definitely going to be focused on looking at places I can ride the Navi, speed limits. There's a lot of dirt trails, dirt roads where we're going. I'm sure that's going to mean I'm going to be looking at the knobby tires for sure. And we'll just check it out and see how the Navi life fits into this location. You know, these homes right here have a water skiing lake that they put in, and each home comes with a I don't know what you call it, a dock, a personal dock, and they're extremely expensive. And I have only ever seen one boat out on the water in all the years that's been there. Seems like a pretty pricey move for not using your boat. Out in the distance there is Antelope Island. I'll be riding out there again someday when the bugs are a little bit calmed down. Prime riding season also means prime construction season. And your bike route today will not be the same tomorrow. Well, that about sums up everything I have to say. I'm just going to work my way home. And I'll just keep testing it, putting some miles on, and we'll see what the end results are with the miles per gallon or per tank full, and see how that turns out. I like doing little experiments. It's, I don't know, just something to do and kind of fun. Gives me a reason to ride. I don't really have anybody to ride with except for on our scooter club rides. So my wife doesn't ride anymore. She used to ride on the back. She doesn't want to do that anymore. So she does her arts and crafts things while I'm doing my scootering things. So it's just pretty much me. My one son used to ride a lot with me, but he's moved 60 miles away, so he's not a good candidate. So it's just me and my camera, and whoever might be watching one of my videos. We're pretty rural out here in this part of Utah, Syracuse, Utah, but homes are going in fast. I imagine in another 20 years there won't be much farmland left out here. Hairpin turn coming up. Oh, and with gravel, no less. That's awesome. Let's just take something dangerous and make it more dangerous. I will say that I'm going to miss the little windshield for one thing, and that is that it worked really well to hold my full face helmet when I was getting off and on the scooter. It was just the perfect size to just fit it over it. Well, here's another thing that I don't know if I mentioned or not. In one of my videos you notice that I put my OEM blinkers back on in the back. It actually really makes the saddlebags work better. I was concerned about visibility. Now you could do the same thing with the LED blinkers that were on a post rather than those kind of flush mount ones. But I was okay with my stock stuff and I didn't really have anything to work with, so I went back with them. When I took my OEM windshield off, I ended up putting my standard OEM stock turn signals back on the front. And I don't know, just makes me feel a little safer. I like the looks of the others, but I don't know, in my mind, safety first. So I went back to that, and I still have the LED tail light and headlight, and that works just great. I didn't need to have those resistors anymore, because that was just for the turn signals. And those little resistors, man, they get extremely hot. You put your finger on one of those things after your turn signal's been on, and you won't have any skin left. So that's kind of a, I don't know, a threat. So if you're going to use those, make sure you don't have them like mounted on plastic that you care about, because it will warp that plastic, I'm sure. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the ride. This was a real, I don't know, a long one with a lot of just rambling talking. But I've had a few people post and say they just wanted to see the scenery that I live in. And, you know, I get that. I enjoy watching the other videos where people are riding. It's kind of like you're living it for us because we can't get where you're at.